Hi, my name is Geary Marcello. I'm 52, going on 53, with the mind of a 12-year-old. I contracted HIV in 1993. I seroconverted in 1994.
Hi, my name is Roberto Ordonez. I'm 46 years old. I turned HIV positive in 1996, so I've been living with HIV for 23 years.
I contracted HIV I was working at a bar, Fault Line, and as a bartender, barback. As you know, it's like, that's what we do. We flirt with everybody. That's how we make our money. I was flirting with somebody, the wrong people. They were waiting for me after I got off work. They followed me to my car, pulled me into the back of the van, and raped me. The next morning, I woke up beside the highway, and they took me straight to the hospital.
When I was 25, I was really acting out. I was a very depressed teenager, and I was there in this flight attendant, and the condom broke, but I don't blame him. It could have been anybody because I was a bug chaser.
I grew up as a ward of the court, meaning I was a throwaway child. I was put up for adoption when I was 2. Being in the closet was never even a thing for me because I never had anybody that I had to come out to. I grew up on the streets, grew up with other kids just like me on the streets that I hung out with. We never had anything to hide, or to be ashamed of. So as I grew up, I had no shame in being gay, but when I got raped and I found out that I was HIV the day after, my attitude was, it doesn't apply to me, so why do I need to educate myself about it? All of a sudden, I not only was dealing with my sexuality, my being raped, and now I was gonna die. As I understood it, based on what I saw in the media and, being on TV and magazines, you get KS, you die, so in my mind, as soon as I was released from the hospital, I heard, "You're gonna die, go home." So I went home, closed myself up, wouldn't answer the phone, wouldn't answer the door, closed all the drapes, stopped eating, and I just laid there waiting to die for weeks. And I didn't die. When I went back to the hospital, they assured me I was probably gonna die more apt from getting hit by a truck than dying from HIV. So here I am, 23 years later.
When I was in my early 20s, it was so hard for me because I was sad, lonely, I was gay and in the closet with my friends and family. And then to top it up, I found that I was HIV positive. I remember when the doctors told me in the clinic, I was going in my car, I looked at my eyes in the mirror, and the light in my eyes just died.
So after I came to accept that I was HIV positive and I started living life again, I realized time is precious, so my childhood dream was to become a fashion designer. I did lots of interviews. I interviewed with Bob Mackie, Terry Mugler, and other major designers. I got the same reply from all of them. You're a costume designer. Go back to school, learn how to do fashion design, then come back and see us. So I did. I went to fashion school. I got my degree, put together an amazing portfolio, if I may say. Went back to Bob Mackey, presented my portfolio, and I got hired the next day. I worked for him for quite a while, and then he told me that he thought I was too good, so I left my ex, who was also a drug addict. So we were both a mess at that time. And I moved to Amsterdam. I opened up my own design house. Traveled the world a few times over. And ended up here in New York.
So the funny thing to me is that I wanted to die, I wanted to kill myself. But once I became HIV positive, it was like a slap on the face. And now I really wanted to leave. So I was living in Mexico City at the time. I remember I started saving money and packing my bags and planning how I was going to run away and where I was going to go. So first, I went to San Francisco for a week. Then I went to Chicago for a week. And I knew I was going to end up in New York City. But I wanted to see the places that I thought were the gayest places with the most HIV cases. So try to learn a little more and dive in that back then they gave me only 5 years to live. So I said, you know what, I'm just gonna travel, be free, do drugs, sex, and rock and roll.
After I became HIV positive, I had a few relationships. I still have to this day issues with being positive and dating negative men. My preference is positive, dating somebody positive so they understand like where I'm at. The whole safe sex thing, is really not my thing. And if I'm dating somebody negative, I don't want the responsibility on my forehead, the stamp on my forehead that I may have given them HIV.
For me, when I turned HIV positive, it was really hard to find somebody to date, especially because when I will tell somebody I was positive, if they were negative, they will run with the tail between their legs. And if they were positive, they will just kind of like use me or trash me somehow. So it was very hard to date back then. Now people are a little more educated about it. And even my husband is negative and I'm positive and we're perfect. He's on PrEP. But anyway, back then, around 10 years ago, I met Geary and we dated on and off for 3 years and we're still best friends.
I started out taking antivirals before antivirals were approved by the FDA. So I was taking 3TC and all the other ones that were prehistoric. Presently, this is what I'm taking. Bitavari, I guess that's how you pronounce it. I've been taking it for about 2 months. Valcyclovir I take as a maintenance so I don't get shingles, have an outbreak of shingles. This is my meds because I have gout. I take it as just a maintenance. This is Depakote, which I take because I'm bipolar, and I'm a wreck if I don't take these or try to go off them, because I've done this before. And this is Wellbutrin. When I was a crystal meth addict and I was trying to wean off of crystal meth, I was having cravings. Those of you that have done crystal meth know exactly what I'm talking about. So that's what this is for.
So I took Trisavir for about 8 years. Then they stopped working and we tried a couple medications and I was resistant to them. So then my doctor finally put me on Epsicon and Icentrex that I've been taking them for about 10 years. I also take Valtrex for herpes and I take another medication to lower my cholesterol. But I also take vitamins every day and they really help. I take CQ10, alpha lipoic acid, and DHEA. And those really keep me really healthy, those vitamins.
So now that we've covered what's going on with me compared to some of the earlier interviews, I'd really like to address medications. You know, as we've said, I have been on meds since '93. I started in California. I was on ADAPT. You know, that was good for its time. I've since moved to New York, and they have a program which is indispensable to anything in the rest of the world. You know, which is primarily through HASA, I believe. It covers my HIV meds, it covers, you know, it's a special needs program. You know, they cover all my doctor visits, new studies, like whatever I need, I've never had to pay out of pocket unless I have to do a name brand med, which is what I had to do today because there is no generic for it, so it was $200 out of my own pocket. Which I'd like to thank Rod for helping me out with that. But moving on to the next subject is, you know, going through this is not something you can do alone. You really have to have a very good support net. You have to have friends, family, at least one person that believes in you. That makes all the difference in the world. You know, if you need to go to groups, that's important. What is most important, don't be scared to talk about it. You know, the more you talk about it, the easier it becomes. You know, as well as it educates yourself more and it educates other people. I live with HIV.
For HIV doesn't live with me.